Hola mis amigos, ¿cómo están? Estamos aquí en su show. Buenas noches con Joaquín y Billy. Hi my friends, how are you doing? We are here in your show with Joaquin and Billy. We're very happy to be here. Estamos muy contentos de estar aquí con todos ustedes esta noche en nuestro show. Buenas noches con Joaquín y Billy. We are going to be talking about different decades this afternoon. We're going to start in the 1960s through the 2000s. It's going to be a very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting conversation that Billy and I we're going to have this evening.
Yeah.
Hi Billy, how are you doing this
I'm
evening?
doing fine. How you doing, Joaquin?
I'm doing fine. I'm very happy to be here again
Yeah.
in this great show that we have prepared for our audience this afternoon.
Yeah, that's good.
So
really
we're going to
good.
be talking about different decades, Billy.
Yeah, the 60s and the 70s, 80s,
60s,
90s.
70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Yeah.
So what is the problem? So you having problems with your microphone?
Oh, wow,
Let me fix it.
earphones, yeah,
Your microphone, your earphones.
that's
I will
earphones.
try them on the.
Yeah, let's see. That's,
You have to turn this on.
yeah,
Just like that.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now you can hear us. Say hi to our audience.
Hello, everyone. How you doing this evening? We're got a great show planned for you.
Great show. Well, we're going to be talking about the cars in the year 60s. Tell me a little bit about the cars really in the years in the 60s.
Oh,
What cars did you remember?
60s. Chevrolet, the Impalas, the Ford Galaxies, the Plymouth Fury.
Tell me a little bit what kind of features the cars had back then. That, of course, the cars today's are completely different. But tell me some of the features that cars offered back then that were very was very in for their time, for its time.
Oh, back then, the big engines, big engines, manual transmission sometimes, depending on your, for young people, they like those manual transmissions because you get a little more out of it. It's faster takeoff at the red light, and all that kind of stuff, They weren't that comfortable. Some had air conditioning, some didn't. It was an option then. I mean, most people didn't have air conditioning. You roll the windows down. That's the air conditioning.
So you have to roll the windows, and there was no air conditioner.
Yeah, they had the vent windows, which they've eliminated.
Yes.
And,
It's not like today's days. They have a lot of features.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
air conditioner. You have the airbags.
Yeah.
You have they are computerized.
I don't even see.
They have a lot of stuff.
No seat belts. I don't think we had seat
There were no
belts.
seat belts.
I don't think so. Not back.
You didn't have to wear seat belts back
No, there was no laws about seat belts then. I had a 57 Ford. I put seat belts in it because that was later in the 60s.
then. Okay.
Yeah, but that was I think optional or something like that.
It was optional.
Yeah, it's like air
Well, my
conditioning.
friends, we're gonna play our first video from the 70s. It's with Village People. Don't stop the music. They are singing in Spanish. I found this in YouTube. I didn't know they were singing in Spanish the song "Don't Stop the Music." I'm gonna let you be with the Village People.
Yeah.
Don't Stop the Music. Voy a estar aquí pasando un video de los Village People. En español no ponen la música, es un video que encontré el otro día. Aquí los dejo que lo vean. So, enjoy it, my friends. Enjoy the video. Village People, Don't Stop the Music in Spanish. Thank you for tuning our show. Good. Your show with Joaquin and Billy. Okay, Hola, mis amigos. Hi, my friends. We're back here in your show with Joaquin and Billy. We were playing the song Don't Stop the Music with Village People in Spanish. They were a very famous group in the 70s, Billy.
Hmm.
They were famous all over the world. They
Yeah.
came a lot to Mexico to play
Hmm.
and to have concerts. They were really big. You know, they have a lot of hits like YMCA, Don't Stop the Music, and a lot of a lot of songs. They portrayed the cab, the the cab, and they have different people, you know, on
Uh-huh.
the stage, so people can identify with their characters.
Yeah, they
So
had
they
a
portray
different.
different characters. They have the cab, they have the worker, the construction worker, they have the leatherman, the Indian,
Mm-hmm.
they have the army guy.
Yeah.
It was a very popular group back then. It was something different for their time. What do you think about this group, Billy?
Yeah, that's an interesting characters. It's something very different from what the groups did back then.
From back time, from
Yeah.
that era.
Uh,
Who else do you remember from the 60s? The
see.
Beatles,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Doors,
Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones. What is one of the groups that you like the most?
Oh, gosh.
Janis Joplin.
Yeah. Bob Dylan. I listen to a lot of Bob Dylan. Yeah.
Tell me, what do you like about Bob Dylan?
Oh, I just like his music and the songs he sang and everything. Yeah.
And tell me, audience, which one were your favorite groups in the 70s?
In the 70s.
70s and 60s.
Okay.
I like Janis Joplin. She was very eccentric, very extravagant. I've been watching some of her shows in YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was before my time,
Yeah, she was.
but she was very entertaining. I
Yeah.
like the way she sang, the way she dressed. She was she got really strong vocals.
Oh, yeah. They.
I really love the way she sang. She
Yeah, and
sang.
they just sold that Porsche that she had. It was a kind of a psychedelic
They
color.
sold a porch.
Yeah, she had a Porsche, and they sold it recently. They auctioned
For
it
how
off.
much, really?
Oh, lots of money. I don't remember.
How much was it? Tell us.
I don't remember how much the.
So it's the porch she owned.
Yeah,
What color was it?
all sorts of colors. It was kind of psychedelic printing.
Psychedelic car. How would
Yeah.
you like to have a psychedelic car?
I don't. These days, no, I don't think I'd want. I don't think I'd want something like that. I like solid colors.
Solid colors.
Yeah.
And what about you, my friends? What colors do you like? We're gonna go to some commercials. We will be right back. Stay tuned here in your show with Joaquin and Billy. We'll be back, Billy.
Yeah, we'll be back shortly.
Stay here. Thank you.
Bye.
Listen to show con Joaquin y Billy. Hi, my friends. We are in your show with Joaquin and Billy this evening. We're gonna watch the next video. Daniela Romo, she's a singer from Mexico, Latin America. She is singing Donna Summer song, Heaven Knows. So I'll let you with Daniela Romo singing Heaven Knows. Enjoy it. We're talking about the 60s right now, the music. Romo, Heaven Knows. This is a classic from Donna Summer.
Yeah.
You know, Billy, Donna Summer is one of my favorite singers, along with Daniela Romo. I really was captivated by Donna Summer. She opened the door for a lot of people, for black people
Yeah.
in show business.
Mm-hmm.
She opened the doors, her and Diana Ross and
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of artists. You know, she was very beautiful. She got a great vocals. She was very entertaining. She had a beautiful sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
She was a really beautiful person. For what I have read about her, they said she was a very beautiful person, inside and out. Can you imagine being a person like Donna Summer, being that big and being so down to earth?
Yeah. It's rare.
It's rare in this business, but
Mm-hmm.
she also was Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she was a Christian woman. I was reading in her biography that at the end she became a Christian woman.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of her career, she became a Christian woman. She started singing in church,
Mm-hmm.
and then later she lived in Germany for a few years. That's where her musical career started. Then she came to the United States, and she was having a hit after another,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with Heaven Knows,
Yeah.
on the radio.
Yeah. A lot
How
of-
many of you remember on the radio, my friends? How many of you were dancing in the discotheque?
Mm.
On the radio,
Mm-hmm.
MacArthur Park,
Yeah. There's
Heaven Knows.
yeah.
How many times did you dance to her songs, really?
Oh, I don't
When you were a
remember.
young man.
I remember Heaven Knows. Let's see what else. There was some others. I don't know. I don't remember all
You
that.
don't remember.
No, that's too long ago.
But
Yeah.
she got a hit after another hit.
Yeah.
You know what? Also, the music in the 60s was a bit hit in Asia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In Japan.
Yeah.
In Japan, that decade saw the rise in popularity of several Western popular music
Mm-hmm.
groups such as the Beatles, the success of rock music and bands in the Japan started as a new generation.
Mm-hmm.
as group sounds, which was popular later in the later half of the decade.
Yeah.
decade.
Decade.
In South America, genres such as bossa nova, nueva canción, and nueva ola, in Spanish, new song and new way started to rise. Rock music began leaving its mark and achieved success in the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, salsa grew popular towards the end of the decade.
Okay.
Have you liked salsa?
I like
You
it.
like salsa?
Mm-hmm.
In the 1960s, cumbia entered Chile and left a long-lasting impact on tropical music in the country, in Chile, in South America. So, have you liked Iris Chacon,
Mm.
the singer and an actress from Puerto Rico?
Oh.
Remember Iris Chacon, the one that danced like Olga Brinskin?
Oh yeah.
She
Yeah.
sings, salsa, cumbia,
Uh-huh.
merengue.
Yeah.
So check her videos. Her name is Iris Chacon. Iris Chacon. She's from Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
She was a very beautiful woman. She still is, but now she's in the 60s.
Yeah.
But in the 70s, she was 30s. She was a very beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was very funny. She was in some shows here in the United States with Johnny Carson.
Oh yeah. Johnny Carson.
She was funny. Have you watched
I've watched some Johnny
She was
Carson,
really
but
funny.
but it's
Okay, we're gonna talk about the fashion in the 60s. Tell me a little bit about the 60s. How was the fashion, Billy? You lived those times. What was the hairdos back then?
well.
Do you remember, my friends, what was like the 60s? How were the hairdos? How was the
Long hair.
clothes, the
Long hair.
colors? Tell me, Billy.
Long hair.
Long hair?
A lot of long hair. Kind of. Oh, the shirts and stuff like that is kind of a wild stuff. You know,
It was like psychedelic too?
well, somewhat, yeah. Sometimes, depending on your taste and what your family, you know.
Yes.
For the young, some of them really, you know, crazy. Some of them not so much so. And the lapels, I think they had the wide lapels and the
Okay.
suits.
I'm going to read a little bit about the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
The 1960s featured a number of diverse trends. It was a decade that broke many fashion traditions,
Yes.
mirroring social movement during the time. Around the middle of the decade, fashion arising from the small pockets of young people in a few urban centers received large amounts of media publicity and began to heavily influence both the couture of elite designers and the mass market manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
Examples include the mini skirt.
Oh,
You
yes.
remember the mini skirt?
Yeah, I remember mini skirts.
Most of the ladies were wearing those mini skirts.
Mm-hmm.
They were wearing the go-go boots.
Yeah.
You remember the go-go boots?
Yeah, I remember those things.
And more experimental fashions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, did you see a lot of girls wearing the mini skirts? And the
Um,
go-go boots?
Not really. I mean, I grew up in a.
Yeah, you grew up in a little town, but most of the people. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
wore
they
it
they
too in
do
the
some.
little
They
town.
do some. I mean, the people who, you know, the doctors' kids and dentist kids and things, the
were
ones that
wearing
have
mini
money,
skirts.
they do that. They go with the
But-
fashion, but everybody else was pretty. You know, it was maybe a little more not as conservative as the '50s, but still not
Mhm.
quite the. Like,
But I'm sure some people made their own mini skirts. People that didn't have
oh
money,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
some
sure.
made their own
I'm
mini
sure they did because that was a common to making clothes. Yes.
How
Those
many
are-
of you remember wearing mini skirts? People from the 70s that were probably 13, 14, 15, 16 back then. How
Mhm.
many of you wearing those mini skirts
Yeah.
back then?
Yeah.
Also, in the 70s, we're going to talk about cars now. In
Yeah.
the 70s.
Yeah.
Some of the cars that, were very fashion and very famous in the 70s were the Lamborghini,
Mm-hmm.
the BMW's 5 Series, and many others were pumping out cars like the Pacer and the Pinto. Most of these compact cars were disposable, dangerous, unreliable, but had much better gas mileage.
Yeah, they were.
Tell me why they were dangerous, Billy, the Pacer and the Pintos.
Well, the Pacer's like a fishbowl. I mean, it's just it's small and I don't know how.
It's like round.
Well,
Describe
sort of.
Describe it to us.
It's kind of a, it's sort of round, but it's a little bit rectangular.
So it was kind of round and rectangular.
Yeah, it's not a round ball, but it's kind of it kind of looked like a fishbowl. Some people call it. And the Pinto, well, the design was bad because where the gas tank was, because it was small. So if you had a 1974 Galaxy hit that 73 Pinto, it was pretty hard. It was going to blow up or pretty good damage because it was small and they didn't have the reinforcement. They didn't have the bumpers like they do today.
Okay.
So
right here in this article that I got, it says muscle cars in the early 1970s, like the Challenger, Cura, and Corvette, were unbelievable great.
Mm-hmm.
But the sport cars were overtaken in the mainstream by the compact car because automakers were having an impossible time keeping the power and getting rid of the smog. By 1972, compact cars had won the sales race. The GM Vega, Ford Pinto, and AMC Gremlin battled the imports, most notably Volkswagen, Toyota, and Datsun. In 1974, BMW introduced the first 3 Series. One of my favorite cars ever, the old school Jaguar XJS, was also released that year. Hatchbacks were extremely popular as well. Tell me about that car, Billy, the Jaguar XJS and the hatchbacks. Why were the hatchbacks so popular? Tell me. Hatchbacks? That's how you say it, right?
Hatchback. Yeah, it's like, it's you can just raise the thing up and put your stuff in there. It's not like it's the way I think partly the way they made the latches and everything. It made it easier to put things in the bag compared to a trunk. But then you had that big glass back there, so it was not. You had to, they'd be prone to people breaking in.
Yes.
They see things in there.
And tell me, what was so magnificent about the Jaguar XJS?
XJS.
What was about it?
Well, I think it's probably the handling and everything, and the speed and stuff like that for Jaguar. Yeah.
Also in fashion in the 1970s, the trends represent a rebellion against the old guard that began with the hippie movement of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how the hippies were dressed up in the 60s. You say it's long hair, psychedelic clothing,
tie-dyed T-shirts and things.
Big gold necklaces,
Yeah.
bracelets,
Mm-hmm.
men and women wearing it.
Yeah, sure. And it didn't mean there wasn't much real style to it. I mean, they make their own stuff.
You understand?
Yeah,
During this time, Billy, it was when they have the Woodstock festival.
The Woodstock
with
was.
Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who else? Santana. Who else was in Woodstock? This event was taking place in New York.
Yeah, Woodstock, New York.
Outside New York City.
It's outside. It's out in the country.
For how many days this lasts? For
I
a
don't.
few days.
Yeah, it was
4 or 5
several.
days?
Yeah, it was several days. I don't remember. I remember, and there's an album on Woodstock with a lot of the music on there that was played at the.
How many of you remember the Woodstock in New York? How many of you were in that event? People that are watching us, probably some of you were in that, taking participation in the Woodstock. I bet you have a lot of fun. They said it was a fun. A fun concert to go.
Yeah.
And they said a lot of babies were conceived during that time.
Oh yeah, because
I was reading.
Yeah, because of the sexual revolution, people were more casual about sex, and you might have sex with somebody that you haven't known very long.
Yeah,
and that's and that was before the days of so many problems with them.
Yes,
with
but
having.
they said a lot of babies were conceived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a great experience by the people that went and took part of the Woodstock,
Yeah.
the festival.
It's pretty crazy at
At times,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but I bet it was a lot of fun. You wish you could have gone, Billy?
I I don't know. I would have gone if I'd had a chance. I mean, yeah, I probably
How old
would.
were you back then, Billy? You were so young, I bet.
Well, I was in high school, I think, when that
You
happened.
would have been like 17, 19.
I don't know what year was Woodstock. I don't
That
remember.
was in the late 60s, maybe, or 70s.
Okay, yeah, I was probably 60. I'd have been like 18.
Yes. I'm going to tell you the exact day when we come back.
Okay,
We're going to go to some commercials. Stay tuned here
yeah.
in our show, your show with Joaquin and Billy. Thank you
Yeah.
for tuning in.
Thank
We
you.
will be back.
We'll be back.
Chairman Woodstock was- your show with Joaquin and Billy. Hi, Billy. How you
Hi,
doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Hi, how are you doing? Our audience at home. How is dinner tonight?
Yeah.
How was work today? How was your day? Did you have a very productive day today? Did you enjoy your day? How was your day today, Billy?
Oh, it was great. I had a kind of a busy day. Did a lot of things.
A lot of things today we
Mm-hmm.
have to do.
Yeah.
But we're very happy to be here with
Yeah.
all of you here this evening. I'm talking about the 60s, 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and current events that are happening, you know,
Mm-hmm.
this month. Well, Billy, give us the information about Woodstock. When was this taking place? Where and the date, the year?
Woodstock. It's a music and art fair. It was
Taking the microphone, please.
occurred in 1969. It was scheduled for August 15th through the 17th. It took place on a dairy farm in the Catskill Mountains, southern New York, northwestern New York City, and it ran over into the 18th of August, and there was over 400,000 people there.
Wow, it was on August 18, 1969, you say?
Yeah, 15th through the 18th of
15
August.
to the 18th of August. What year? 69?
69.
In 69. This was a long time ago, my friends.
Oh, yeah.
How many of you were in Woodstock? I would like to hear. If somebody of you went to Woodstock, I would like for you to come to my show, our show, and talk about the experience, right, Billy?
Mm-hmm.
We would like
Sure.
to hear from people that went to Woodstock and invite you to our show and talk about it and bring pictures and, stuff with you. Like, remember that time, and we would like to talk about that time and how was it and your experience. It would be a very interesting subject.
Yeah,
to
it
talk
would be.
about.
Yeah, the
Jimi Hendrix, right there, the great
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, one of the greatest guitarists from the U.S.
mm-hmm.
I really like the way he was. He was a great player.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
died too soon. He was gone too soon.
Yeah, you had
Yes.
Sly and the Family Stone, the Who, Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead,
Yes.
Country Joe McDonald, Santana.
Santana, Janis
Oh, yeah,
Joplin,
Yeah, Janis Joplin.
Mr. Hendrix, all the good singers, musicians, but back then. Well, we're gonna be talking now about current events that are taking place this year in different parts of the world. Which it has been very sad to hear this news
Mm-hmm.
about the flooding that we have last month in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
all over Houston, the Valley,
Yeah, all
with
this.
these hurricanes that affect a lot of people. A lot of people lost everything they have, their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They lost practically everything. Our prayers and thoughts are with all the people that lost everything. Same way in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico with this hurricane
Yeah.
and the Caribbean, they lost everything. And in Mexico also the earthquake, you can see the hand
Mm-hmm.
there in Mexico and Puerto Rico and the
Yeah.
Caribbean, that's
Mhm.
what the hand means. They lost everything in their lives, their homes, everything. The
Yeah.
buildings in Mexico came down, fell
Mhm.
down. And we want to say hi to all the people in Mexico that lost their lives. Say hi to the family of the people
Yeah,
that lost their
mhm.
lives. I'm sorry. That we're praying for you. Our thoughts are with you and your
Mhm.
families, as well with the people from Puerto Rico and Houston and the Valley. We want to say that me and Billy,
Dylan.
our thoughts and our hearts and our prayers are with you, and I hope
Mhm.
that you get well. I know you cannot bring your dear loved ones back, but the people that survive and your family, I hope you can start your life again and God be with you and,
Mhm.
and God take care of you and the people in your countries, help them to get back on their feet, Billy.
Yeah. Yeah, and parts of Florida got hit too. The whole,
Parts of Florida as well.
pretty much the whole state.
Yes, so
Yeah.
these are events that you cannot control.
Yeah.
The Mother Nature are the ones that cause all these problems. but
Yeah.
we want to let you know that our hearts and our minds and souls are with you and our prayers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
God bless you and God
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah.
And we hope you get well
Yeah.
after all these uh, catastrophe,
Mhm.
catastrophes,
Catastrophe. Yes.
catastrophe that you went through.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I believe you want to mention about the shooting in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, the shooting. That's really a sad situation. Man, that's shot a lot. Shot from his hotel room. A lot of people down on the ground at a country music concert, and
Yes.
that was like over 500 people wounded, and like 50 or 60.
Right there is a heart
Yeah.
that says praise for all the people in Las Vegas shooting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Billy? I think we live in some era and time where people live a fast life
Mm-hmm.
and always thinking about your work, about what you have to do tomorrow, what you have to do right now,
Mm-hmm.
about social media, about, I don't know, taking selfies, which is not bad.
Yeah.
But I think today we have to think a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
give ourselves time. And if you're at work and if somebody needs a hug or needs a handshaking
Mm-hmm.
or somebody wants to talk to you about problems, even, if there is a little child crying, you can always help
Mm-hmm.
relieve the pain,
Mm-hmm.
and if you believe in God, you can make a prayer for them, or you can share a little bit of your time with
Mhm.
people that needs to talk about it. I think it's very important to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
If you have problems, if you're feeling loneliness, if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling some sort of problem, it's good that you always don't feel ashamed, don't feel embarrassed. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to your coworkers. There is a special help.
Mm-hmm.
You have the priests, you have the preachers, the pastors, the rabbis.
Mm-hmm.
You have psychologists. You have
Mm-hmm.
people that can always help you.
Yeah. Yeah, we get, with all the electronics, the computers and the cell phones, the tablets and the laptops, we get out of touch sometimes. We get so hung up in our computers and phones that we forget that there's people out there that,
That needs help.
yeah, even kids, they text, they're standing beside each other and they're texting to each other on the phone.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Well, I think, Billy, if we all work together as one, because we're the human race, we are one people.
Mm-hmm.
We need to work our difference. We need to love each other. We need to understand each other's difference.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter your race, your culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can make this work a better place,
Mm-hmm.
better place to live.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are so many billions of people on this earth.
Yeah, there's
And
about.
we need to work together
Mm-hmm.
to make this world better.
Mm-hmm.
We're finishing the world.
Yeah,
We're
there's.
finishing the world with
Oh.
technology, with building a lot of buildings,
Mhm.
freeways, roads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We need to stop and think and take care of the nature as well.
yeah, there's about 7 billion people on this.
7 billion on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do a little bit, for somebody, if you can talk to somebody and help
Mhm.
somebody, you will feel better.
Mm-hmm.
So my friends out there, if you have a minute of your time that you can spend with a coworker, family member, a friend, a little kid that needs help, a mother that don't have the money for groceries, or a neighbor that don't have the money for fixing the car, you can always help. If you can help, you're gonna feel a lot better. Have you ever helped somebody, Billy?
Yeah, I've helped people on occasions. Yes. Yeah.
One time, there was a homeless man in a hamburger place. I was buying a hamburger, and I saw the man was very hungry, and I feel very touched. very compassionate. And then I told the man when I was paying for my meal, can you bring another meal and can you take it to this man because it seems that he's very hungry. And I did it from my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left, and the man received his meal.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, doing little things like that, you can help somebody.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't know why he was homeless. You don't know why he couldn't find a job, why he didn't have a house. But
Mm-hmm.
you can always help somebody and just a little bit, you know, give a little bit of your time. You
Mm-hmm.
can make a difference.
Yeah, it,
So we can, if we work together, we can make this world better. What do you think?
yeah, if you help somebody, maybe it'll give them the desire to do something and maybe change the direction of what they're doing.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you can always help somebody. What it will be your advice for the leaders of the world to make this world better, Billy?
I don't know. Stop fighting among yourselves, for one thing,
Stop fighting.
and you know, try to agree on something. Find things that will help your constituents and everything. Don't look after yourself so much. You know, it's,
You know what it will be, Billy? Everything it starts at home.
mm-hmm, sure.
I think parents
Mm-hmm.
who teach their children have to care for one another, have to learn, have to listen and communicate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how can you always be a blessing to other people? We have to start at home.
Oh, sure. That's sure.
I mean, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a preacher. I'm just giving you some advice what I think it will be a good thing to
Well,
do.
yeah.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just
There's a lot of people that
telling you
would.
what we could do to make this world better.
I think that's a lot of people would agree that that's where it starts
Yeah,
at home.
At home, and it's not only the teacher or the principal or you know or the assistant teacher to tell the kids to teach them manners, to teach them
Mm-hmm.
good ways, or to educate them. It starts at home.
Yeah.
We need to start at home with a loving house,
Mm-hmm.
with a house that instills love in people. See,
Mhm.
love people.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of your beliefs, your
Hmm.
race, which country you may be from,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your social class. We need to learn to love each other and to love people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to do to make this world a better place to live. Like remember that song from the 80s, "We Are the World,"
Oh,
where
yeah.
there will have been
Mm-hmm.
people in Africa.
Yeah, they were raising
They
money
were
for.
raising money for them. It was a very noble cause.
Mm-hmm.
That all the singers got together and
Mm-hmm.
sing,
Yeah.
"We Are the World." Also in Latin America, all the Latin stars
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sing the song "Cantaré, cantarás." I will sing, you will sing,
Mm-hmm.
to get money for that cause
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
So if all the artists, if all the people that we are in this business could get together and raise money for all these people that lost their homes in the Caribbean, in Puerto Rico, in Houston, in the Valley, in Florida, the earthquake in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and help also the people that you know that got lost their loved ones and probably
Yeah.
they don't have money,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for to bury their loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
You can help them
Yeah.
in
That's
some
true.
way. If we can,
Mm-hmm.
you raise money, or you can help the Red Cross. You know,
Yeah.
raise
Give money to
for
the Red
them.
Cross.
Yes. Or with
Anybody can do
clothes
that.
or food or whatever
Mm-hmm.
you would like to donate.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
good if you can do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because the Red Cross works in everywhere, all over the
Yes.
world.
All over the world.
Mm-hmm.
All over. So that's our thoughts for today. To make this world better and to live loving each other and learn from our difference
Mm-hmm.
and try to work it together,
Work together to make things better.
make things better.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will be in a better world
Mm-hmm.
instead fighting and fussing at each other. See Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson gave us a good example.
Mm-hmm.
He always,
Yeah, he was
sing
awesome.
songs that were very motivational.
Motivational, yes.
Yeah, with children, with adults, always getting together and forget about your nationality. Remember that song, Black, White?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's true. We have to work together
Right.
and be brothers and sisters, be as one,
Mm-hmm.
because we are the human race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all.
We are the human race, and we will make this world better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, my friends, this was our show for today.
Yeah.
We talk about the 60s, 70s, cars, music.
Mm-hmm.
We play some videos. We play Village People, Don't Stop
Mhm.
the Music in Spanish. And Daniela Roma,
Mm-hmm.
the song from Donna Summer, Heaven Knows.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you next week. Not next week, next Wednesday. Not
Yeah.
this coming Wednesday.
In
Next
2 weeks.
Wednesday.
Well, 2 weeks. Yes.
In 2 weeks in your show with Joaquin
And
and Billy.
Billy.
And remember, if you were in Woodstock, send us a message in
Yeah.
Facebook or Twitter, and we
Yeah.
would like to invite you here in our show so we can
Mhm.
talk about your experience in Woodstock.
Yeah.
It will be a great show, a
Mhm.
great experience.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Mr. J, in the controls for helping us this
Yeah.
evening.
Thank you.
We're very happy that you work with us every show.
Mhm.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And well, God bless you at home. Take care. Enjoy your dinner. And enjoy your family, your friends. See you next week.
Yeah.
Billy and Joaquin.
Joaquin,
In your show with Joaquin and
Joaquin,
Billy.
Billy.
See you.
have a safe week.
Have a safe week. Bye bye.
Bye.